everyone, welcome back to another draw with me or color with me video. Today's video I want to introduce to you guys a rather uncommon medium that you don't usually see people use in their coloring book, or at least I haven't really seen any colorist YouTuber use in their books anyway. Now I have used this medium before, but the brand that I use in this video is Arrtx soft oil pastel. This line of their pastels are really soft, and I wanted to swatch it out to see what kind of colors they included in their 48 color set, but they do have bigger set. I believe it up to 72 colors. Now my first impression with these soft oil pastel is that they really soft, a lot softer than the brand that I have used before, and they do have a nice color collections for this set, but they do stick to everywhere, so don't forget to put a piece of paper between your swatches so the color don't rub off on each other. I'm gonna go ahead and say it now that these are a quite messy medium to use. To me, how do I describe this one? I think they are a marriage between oil paint and a little bit of color pencil in a chalk pastel form, if that makes any sense. Now since these are quite soft, I was able to go down on the paper really quickly and light-handed. I didn't really need to press the pastel at all, and I think I got a decent color coverage for the first base layer. At the start, you didn't really see in the video, but there is a phase that I call break into the soft oil pastel, because when they come in a brand new set, the tip of the pastel are very flat and the edge is quite sharp. I guess to some people that they found that easier to control, and you do able to control with the edge, but for me I like when the edge is a bit more softer and more rounder, so I just pretty much use a wet tissue and I rub around it, so it helped to soften the edge by taking away some of the first layers. As you can see here, I did a little mushroom painting for no reason. I just really like mushroom and I thought it would really fun to paint some mushroom. I had a really good time using these on this specific paper. So the paper is the Ohuhu mixed media paper, and they are thick. They're quite rough but not too rough. So it was really lovely to layering the pastels on this paper. I was able to do quite a bit layer, and as you can see, I didn't really do a full opaque layer, so there's a lot of white space in between, but that's normal when you use the pastel. You go on quite light, and then I just use the Q-tip or the fingers again to blend without having to use much force. I went in really light with these. Actually, I found that if you press too hard, it's kind of move the pigments around and even harder to blend. One thing I really like about these soft oil pastel is you can keep layering on top of it, so even if you make a mistake, you can pretty much cover it with the next color. It doesn't really limit you to like have to add down the dark color first or the light color first, so that helped with me not having to blend ahead in my head that I want. If I wanted to preserve a certain area for highlight, I just need to go on top with the white. Talking about the white, I really love the white specifically in this set for this specific brand, because in my opinion, for oil pastel, white is one of the most important color to have. They are not only for blending, to create highlight, and you can also use it to create lighter colors as well. So overall, really useful color to have, and I'm glad that they do sell a pack of white separately, like the one that I showed you at the beginning of the video. Plus, if I'm going to use these more in my coloring book for background, I will mainly use it for creating cloud, or galaxy, or maybe bokeh, and things like that use a lot of white, so I probably go through them quite quickly. It's nice to know that I don't have to get a completely new set just for the white. I do use my finger to mainly blending when I adding in little details, so it look absolutely disgusting, but no worries, I can just use the wet white to clean up easily. Now another thing I quite like about this soft oil pastel is you can use them like normal color pencil, in terms of like this come with a lot of colors, so you don't really have to do a lot of mixing, but the result give you the feel of a real painting with paint, like oil paint, acrylic paint. I like that it looks so soft. Just the softness of it, and the colors is so nice and opaque. So I do really think that this medium as one of the kind, very special, and I would love to one day someone will create these soft foil pastel with a smaller tip, so I can do more detail work with it, because at the moment I rather use it for background, and that's such a shame, because I would like to use them for like the actual coloring page. I have never used oil paint before, and I don't think I wanted to learn this because I heard that it's really difficult. I also don't like that it have to wait for so long to dry, and I'm a very impatient person. For some aspect, I quite impatient, especially when it comes to drying them. I prefer to use things that dry faster. So this one, while it's really sticky, but I can just quickly wipe it off with baby wipe, and I can clean up everything easily. And then if you not spray anything, you just let it dry. It will take a few days to dry actually, but I use a fixie tip to dry it at the end, so everything will stay in place and it doesn't really move anywhere. So I really like that it can just be done, and I can just like keep layering and layering on top. I believe with oil paint you have to wait or something like that, but yeah, I really like the way these one look. I can just quickly whip them out and then paint and have fun with it without having to worry too much about drying times and things like that. So as you can see in this video, I use the Q-tip quite a bit because you do need it to blend. I don't actually know what is the correct way to use this one, and I see people using solvent before to blend this one. I like the Q-tip. This Q-tip is not like a special Q-tip for blending, it's just a normal Q-tip I got from Kmart in Australia, so very cheap, like $4 for I don't know, thousands of them, and I just use these to blend. I also like to use my fingers a lot for blending this one. If you have sensory issue with like sticky thing, I would recommend using the Q-tip, but I like to use my finger because I feel like this one like sticky wet glide That doesn't sound very pleasant, but it's not that bad, and I like the feeling of that on my finger, so I do use my finger to blend. Talking about this medium remind me of my time in primary school. It's funny how it's very different than in here. In the Western country, I think here you guys might use a lot of crayon when you at kindergarten or primary school for your art class. But actually in Vietnam, back when I was in Vietnam, I don't know why, but we use a lot of soft pastel, like these soft pastel, but of course it's like a cheaper quality. And we use a lot of these in art class, and so I do feel really familiar. Maybe that's why I like them, because it feels like my childhood. Another good point that I need to mention about this medium is you can go back on top with normal color pencil. However, I like to use the Prismacolor pencil along with this soft pastel, not with just this specific brand, but with any other soft pastel brand out there. I highly recommend using the Prismacolor. I found that the colors stick on top better. When I use polychromate pencil, the color just kind of sliding around and doesn't really want to stick. I'm not sure why. So yeah, you can go on top with pencil to adding in more detail to fix some of the detail, and I was able to do a bokeh background so simple with this one. All I do is I add in the white blob down or any color blob that I want for the bokeh effect, and then I'll just blend it out with my fingers, so it's nice and soft. And then when I want to make some of the darker light bokeh, then I would not blend it out as much, and that just gives like the feel of like far and close distant light. Just a little tip here, so I have a really dirty white because it pick up all the other colors, so just use a wet wipe to wipe it off. That's very simple to do, very simple to clean. They're quite messy to use, but they not hard to clean. And if you're scared of dirty your hand or all these colors touching your skin, you can wear a glove to paint when you're using them. I don't like to wear anything, so I didn't do that. But yeah, I have a really messy hands afterward, but that's something that I expected with this one. And you can see here the white is so nice and thick that when I apply with a slightly harsher pressure, it helped to make the highlight really pop. And all those colors we apply down and nothing bleed through the back at all. And don't forget to use your fixative spray so the color doesn't just rubbing off on everywhere and everything. Now I want to show you the page that I have used the soft oil pastel on before. The one that I use in this page is different brand, but basically they work the same way. You can see once I spray it, it doesn't really rub off onto the other page, and it doesn't really rub off on my hand. Now let's go back to the Arrtx soft oil pastel. I want to actually use these in my coloring book, so I decided to do it for the background of this lovely page from Small Victory. I did this as a color along on my Patreon last month, so I thought it would have that fantasy feel and very magical feel. I want to do like a cloud sky with the 3 planets, as you can see. Now I did a cloud background before in also one of Johanna book, but I used acrylic paint back in the day, and to me it was fun, but it's quite scary because acrylic is permanent and it involves water, it involved a lot of blending, so it was quite stressful, but I was pleasantly surprised as how well the soft pastel layer on the paper, despite that the paper obviously is not the right paper for them. And of course there are some imperfections, but to be honest, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to trying out new medium. And as you can see, I was able to use all the techniques that I did on the mushroom on this paper. Once I sprayed with the fixed tip, nothing bleed through at all. And if you like how this page turns out and would like to support me or color along with me in real time, you can join my Patreon family. I post a lot of color along tutorial on there. Overall, I really enjoy using the Arrtx soft oil pastel so much that I did another painting using them, doing the lily pond. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video and I hope it give you some inspiration so you can use more mixed medium in your own coloring book. I will put all the link to the products in the description box, and thank you for watching. I will see you guys soon in the next video. In the meantime, take care and happy coloring. Bye.